He traded her for a model 20 years younger. 5 years later, she arrived at his event in a luxurious dress, stepping out of a limousine with 5 children. You won't believe the ending. Subscribe to the channel and comment from which city you're watching. Morning light streamed through the grand windows of the Albuquerque mansion, casting golden patterns on the polished wooden floor. Elisa Albuquerque stood by the window in a silk robe, holding a lukewarm coffee she hadn't touched. Outwardly, her life seemed a modern fairy tale. Luxurious home in Rio's chicest neighborhood, a successful husband gracing magazine covers, and access to every luxury imaginable. Inside, something had been breaking for months, silently, slowly, until it ached with every breath. Ricardo Albuquerque, the man she'd fallen for on a university campus full of promises and ambition, no longer shared her reality. Their marriage had become mechanical, like a sleek, expensive machine functioning perfectly but devoid of soul. Once, he'd whispered dreams to her in a tiny apartment above a pastel shop, cooking presentations in their kitchen while she jotted ideas with a red pen and encouragement. She dipped into her savings to fund his startup accelerator and worked double shifts as a teacher to support them. Back then, their love was pure, fueled by laughter, ambition, and instant noodles. But ambition had bred distance that Elisa's suspicions grew months earlier when Ricardo started coming home late. Meetings stretching on, secretive phone calls, a new perfume on his shirts. He grew curt, distracted, his attention always elsewhere. She chalked it up to stress. His tech company had just gone public, and he juggled investors and a packed schedule. But the chasm between them widened, swallowing secrets. Then came the gala. Elisa had spent weeks planning the annual children's literacy benefit, a cause she'd championed before Ricardo's success. It was her heart's work, a celebration of their shared journey. She wore a deep emerald dress, the same color from their first date, hoping it might stir him. Instead, his attention fixated on someone else. Vittoria Rangel, 26, a social media darling with a sculpted jaw and ambitious eyes masked as innocence. Elisa watched them laugh near the champagne fountain, his hand resting on her back. She didn't make a scene, she never did, but that night, something inside her stopped point 3 weeks later. He confessed. It was a rainy Wednesday night. Ricardo came home early, an oddity, and paced the room like a man bracing for battle. "I think we've drifted," he said, avoiding her gaze. "We become different people." Elisa sat silently, hands clenched white-knuckled around her platinum wedding band. Her voice, when it came, was calm. "There's someone else, isn't there?" He hesitated, that pause louder than any admission. "I didn't plan it," he said, like a child caught lying. She didn't cry then. The tears came later. Locked in the bathroom with the shower running to mask the sound, he left 2 days later, promising a respectful split. Divorce papers arrived the next morning, delivered by a courier. Not him. He took the house, the best of her, the shell of her. The mortgage was barely halfway paid. His settlement was generous on paper, but hollow against her sacrifices. The press reveled in it. Ricardo Albuquerque, eligible again, the tech prince with his model muse. Elisa's name barely surfaced, reduced to ex-teacher or ex-wife, as if her identity had expired point 2 weeks after the divorce. Elisa fainted in her hallway. Dizzy for days, she blamed stress and sleeplessness. That day, fetching a delivery, her vision blurred, and she collapsed on the marble floor. A neighbor called an ambulance. In the hospital, amid beeping monitors and IVs, Dr. Souza entered with an ultrasound and a disbelieving look. "You're pregnant, Mrs. Ribeiro." Elisa blinked. "That's impossible. We barely just once, doctor." Dr. Souza's smiled. Well, it was enough. But it's not just one heartbeat. Elisa froze. "Twins. Quintuplets, Dr. Souza corrected." The word hung like a bell. 5 that she stayed overnight for observation, lying in the dim hospital room, machines humming. Her hands rested on her still flat abdomen. For the first time since the divorce, she cried. Not for him, but for the life ahead. She didn't tell Ricardo that night, nor the next day, nor when the press flaunted his new life with Vittoria. She knew the children would become a scandal, a bargaining chip in a media war. She wouldn't allow it. Back home, she opened the nursery windows, once a dream with Ricardo, now empty with folded hopes and dust. She let the sun in, made lists, sought high-risk pregnancy specialists, and studied quintuplet development. No one visited, no one offered help. She didn't ask. Elisa had always been strong, but now she had to be unbreakable. She closed joint accounts, opened new ones under her maiden name, and began an anonymous blog, writing about rebuilding after betrayal. Soon, women across Brazil responded, calling her words a lifeline. She called them sisters. Morning sickness was brutal, fatigue overwhelming, but each flutter of life reminded her she wasn't alone. She had 5 reasons to keep going. When she heard the first heartbeat, a rapid, steady drum, Elisa vowed not just to survive, but to rise. Her children wouldn't be footnotes in Ricardo's legacy. They'd be hers to be why her second trimester, the media had forgotten her. Ricardo and Vittoria were engaged. Their Monaco vacations splashed across tabloids. Elisa watched in silence, massaging her growing belly, 5 lives stirring within. She didn't crave revenge, only peace, to hold her babies and start a new 0.5 years passed like chapters in a story she never wanted to write. Her modest home buzzed with laughter, sharp, joyful echoes each morning. The living room was a chaos of toys, foam alphabet mats, and tiny sneakers. Her calendar tracked school runs, snack rotations, art classes, and her own meetings. Her children, Joao Malia, Tome, Helena, and Liana, were whirlwinds of personality taught to thrive, not destroy. Joao, the eldest by 7 minutes, led with quiet intensity, protecting his siblings. Malia, with wild curls and keen intuition, cooked beside Elisa, wielding a wooden spoon like a queen. Tome, observant and clever, built intricate structures. Helena, introspective, sketched hospital murals, while Liana, the artist, danced and sang. Elisa loved them with a depth that sometimes scared her. From her blog, she launched Reis's Fortes, a nonprofit for single mothers, growing it into a national platform with a community center in Sao Paulo. Her autobiography, 5 Reasons, became a bestseller, funding pediatric clinics. Success brought attention, but she remained cautious, shielding her children. Then came the gala invitation, a children's health benefit where she'd speak, with Ricardo and Vittoria listed as guests. Her children's school choir was also performing, unknowingly tying their worlds together. At the Grand Monarch Hotel, the room glittered with elegance. Elisa, in a simple navy dress, moved with dignity, her presence earned through action As the choir took the stage, her 5 children appeared. Joao leading, Malia searching for her, Tomei murmuring, Helena analyzing, Liana swaying. The audience applauded, unaware of the reunion unfolding. Ricardo, watching from across the room, approached her later at a park bench. He admitted his regret, wanting to know his children. Elisa set boundaries, counseling first, gradual introduction. He agreed, promising to protect them from media chaos. Over time, he attended Joao's soccer games, earning their trust step by step. At a school concert, they sat together, her children on stage, a new chapter begun, not of reconciliation, but of shared possibility. Love, resilience, and rebuilding defined them, 5 hearts beating stronger than one.